Hello, welcome back. My name is Ari, and today I'm talking about my 2023 anticipated releases. Now, last year I did this based off of like publication date, like in order of this one's expected to come out the soonest, whatever. I don't know the publication date of any of these things, so we're definitely not doing that. Will all of these actually come out in 2023? Who knows? It didn't turn out that way last year. Speaking of last year, let's start this list off with the two books that I anticipated last year and didn't come out. First up, I have Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. This definitely has a release date of like next week. It's the end of this month. January 31st. Very last day of this month is the release date on this. Is this on my TBR that I need to read in January? Yes. Does it coming out on the last day of the month mean I'm actually going to read it in January? No. I wasn't really thinking about that one. But yeah, this releases this month. The other book that I anticipated releasing last year was Witch King by Martha Wells. Now, Martha Wells is the author of the Murderbot Diaries and I love me some Murderbot. So I was very, very excited about this book. I'm not as excited after seeing the cover. Do you ever have like a cover of a book like ruin your desire to read the book? Like, this looks like YA fantasy. And I'm a little concerned. Am I still gonna read it? Do I still have it pre-ordered? You bet your ass I do. But I'm not as excited as I was before the cover came out. Next up is another book that's coming out this month, Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the sequel to... what was it called? This is a sequel to The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Came out a few years ago. I liked but didn't love The Ninth House. But I really like this awful cover. So I'm kind of excited to see where this goes. It comes out this month. I'll read it later. Next up, a standalone book by one of my favorite horror writers, which is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I have no idea what this is about. All I know is Grady Hendrix's name is on it, and it comes out this month. I have so many new releases this month. I'm so excited. Anyway, I'll be reading this month. That's all I have to say about it. I'll tell you what I think about it later. Next up, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and give two books by the same author because they're both releasing this year. I have A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher, which I don't know what it's about, but I've recently started reading T. Kingfisher and love everything she writes. So here it is. The other book that comes out later this year, or is expected to come out later this year, also by T. Kingfisher, is Thornhedge. Also have no idea what it's about. Don't care. Because T. Kingfisher's name's on it, so I'm gonna enjoy it. Next up, let's go from horror to some cozy fantasy with TJ Klune. In the Lives of Puppets comes out later this year. I have no idea the release date because I didn't write any of that stuff down. But it does come out later this year, and I do plan to read it because, you know, TJ Klune is just one of my go-tos if I need something cozy to read, something that I know is going to make me happy. Alecto the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, which is the fourth book in the ninth, the House of Ninth or something. I don't know what it is. It's lesbian necromancers in space. Do you really need to know anything more than that? Like, honestly. Next up, a horror release from everybody's favorite buckaroo, Chuck Tingle. He's releasing Camp Damascus later this year. I've pre-ordered it. I think this is his first traditionally published book. Everything else he self-publishes, but I think Camp Damascus is traditionally published by Tor, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, I'm gonna be reading Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. Are you? Another one that I should have mentioned earlier, because it's a repeat author, is System Collapse by Martha Wells. You remember me mentioning Murderbot earlier? Yeah, this is the next Murderbot book, and I love me some Murderbot. So I will be reading the next Murderbot book. And finally, 4 books in one, The Secret Projects by Brandon Sanderson. He has 4 books that he secretly wrote during the pandemic. And he had a Kickstarter that was like the most well-funded Kickstarter of all time or something last year to pre-order these books, because I guess he's not traditionally publishing them. He's publishing through Dragonsteel, which is his own brand. I obviously ordered all of them, like, duh. So yeah, the first one comes out in January. I think the name for it was released like a couple of days ago, and I think it's Tress of the Emerald Sea. I don't know what it's about. I don't really care. I just know 4 standalone Brandon Sanderson novels called A Secret Project. We only just know the name and the cover of the first one, which I've probably had up the entire time I'm talking. And yeah, what's not to look forward to with 4 surprise Sanderson novels? Those are my 12 most anticipated releases of 2023. Please let me know down in the comments below what your most anticipated releases are for this year, and maybe I need to pick some of these up and pre-order them. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.